morning, Mustangs. Evan here. Today is Wednesday, March 31st. We are glad to welcome 6th, 7th, and 8th graders back to in-person. I know that the teachers are really glad to see us here to begin really getting to know us better. It's crazy to think it's been a year since we walked the halls of Thurgood Marshall Middle School. It's great to be back. Well, it's time for another riddle. Last week's answer to a riddle is a deck of cards. Here's one that was submitted by Tess Hawes.
I have cities but no houses. I have mountains but no trees. I have water but no fish. What am I? Tune in next week for the answer.
Hopefully, you have been participating in this week's Spirit Week. Today, you will be showing off your comfy, cozy outfit. Tomorrow is Throwback Thursday, and Friday is our school colors. Let's show your Mustang spirit and participate. You might see Mrs. Fierro or any of the other yearbook staff going around taking pictures.
I'd like to wish the following students and staff a happy birthday. Michaela Clay, Savea Morgan Pomish, Lucas Rivera, Caleb Eden, Amelie Evans, Cal Evans, Kellen Horn, Rachel Kaufman, Shay Weller, our counselor Mrs. McBride, and para-educators Adrian Rocks and Candace Sorensen. Happy birthday!
Welcome everybody. Today we have with us Brennan from CSI, as you can see on his sweatshirt. Brennan, I hear that there was an amazing discovery made today.
There was. I was picking up some trash, and underneath I found a turtle's shell. And I just started digging and picked up a stick, and before I knew it, I had discovered the lost turtle Michelangelo.
The lost turtle, Michelangelo. Can you show us where you were picking up trash and helping out in our garden? For those of you that don't know, we have a school garden, and Brennan is showing us where he found the turtle. So right in that hole, huh?
Yep.
Cool.
It was really amazing.
Awesome. And here we have it. There's Michelangelo, the turtle. I think we should start calling him Tenacious T. He survived 2 years out here in the wilds of the garden.
March is almost over, and it's gonna be April soon. Did you know that April is Poetry Month? If you want to share your poetry, but you don't know how, you're in luck, because you can enter the Young American Poetry Digest contest. And if you do enter, make sure you get it done by April 23rd. If you don't submit your poem, you will miss out on a chance to get $100. Yep, that's right. If you win, you could get $100 just for writing poetry. All forms of poetry are accepted. Just make sure it's school appropriate. To submit your poem, go online and search up www.youngpoets.org. Young American Poetry Digest would be a great way for you to share your poetry and get published.
Recently we had the pleasure.
Pleasure?
Well, it wasn't torture.
Okay, you're right. Well, we had to do some major arm twisting to get this interview.
It was fun, don't you think? Well, anyways, here's our interview with Mr. Guernsey.
How long have you been working at Marshall?
Okay, so I came to Marshall in the 2014 and 15 school year, I think. So this would be my 6th year. I came in with Mrs. Herseth, Mr. Condon, and Mr. Philippi. Okay, I've already outlasted Herseth, so I'm gunning for Philippi and Condon next. They're next. I'm coming for them.
Okay, why did you choose to be a social studies teacher?
Okay, social studies teacher, because I absolutely just love history. I always find it very interesting to try to figure out why people do things and what are the repercussions to those things. So I've always found it fascinating, the why in history. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? You know, those annoying questions that kids always ask. Why? That was me. So I just carried it forward and made a job out of it.
Where is one place you want to travel?
I want to travel to Italy. I've always wanted to go to Italy and see all the history there. I just think it's fascinating all the different sculptures, all the different art, all the different historical monuments. That would be really cool to go to Italy.
If you weren't a teacher, what would you be?
Oh, that's a good question. Initially, I thought I was going to be an architect when I was younger. That's because I was going to go for being a hand model. I really thought I had a chance for that, but it's a cutthroat business. If one cuticle out of line, one hangnail, and you're done. But it was that. And then, now that I've been at Marshall, I was really striving to become like a stunt double for Haas, or maybe I could do his understudy for Haas, but he went all Fulton on me and grew a beard. So there goes that, because I just can't grow the beard. I don't know. The Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, they have a stage dancer, and I can do a really mean Running Man. So he's probably pretty old now and about to retire, so I could probably step in and do that.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I know. Just doing the Running Man for an entire song. I mean, and get paid for it. It's great.
Yeah. You like teaching 6th grade, 7th grade, or 8th grade more?
Now, I could say I've taught all three. So I have to go 7th grade. 7th grade, it's the subject matter. And 8th graders are just like, they're too cool for me. 6th graders, they're too concerned for me. Like, I think I freak them out. 7th graders is just that happy zone. I have to do a shout out to my 5th period history class. What? Okay, they are my best at no missing assignments. Okay, we're just gonna, this is my new dance, just taking it in. Okay, there we go.
Okay, what was your dream job when you were a kid?
Well, besides the Haas understudy, that was more of an adult dream though, because what do we really know what we want to be when we're kids? So, but besides that, thanks a lot, Haas, with the Fulton beard. But I wanted to be a baseball player, first of all. That was what I wanted to do. And then an architect was kind of it. And then teaching just kept grabbing me. Teaching just kept pulling me towards it. So, and now I'm being interviewed for the Mustang News. So I must have done something right.
Yeah.
And I do want to point out that Haas only had one person interviewing him, and I've got two. Okay. I've got two.
Special. You're special. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could bring anything from your childhood to right now, what would it be?
Okay, that's easy. I want all of my toys. I want my G.I. Joes and I want my Legos. Okay. Because if I had my G.I. Joe and my Star Wars minifigures that I had a cool X-Wing fighter, but I was a dumb kid and I used to throw it off my porch with one of those makeshift parachutes. Okay. Because I wanted it to fly. And then I had a parachute that I made out of paper towels and it never worked. And so that got destroyed. If I had that now, that would be worth tons of money. So I wish I had my toys as a kid, because I think they'd be worth something. And they just don't make G.I. Joe figures like they used to anymore. And those were super cool. But thanks for interviewing me, guys. That was a lot of fun.
You are very welcome for that.
Okay.
Interesting. That was very fun.
Welcome back to another Cornwall Connection. This week we want to normalize and encourage BIPOC people in outdoor spaces and activities. Let's learn about a few local and national Black, Indigenous, Asian Pacific Islander, and Latinx people utilizing their presence in outdoor spaces and activities as a social and racial platform for inclusion, diversity, representation, healing, and justice.
Since spring break is next week, the Cornwall Connection wants to remind and empower all students to find ways to enjoy the outdoors. A local Washington State racial justice and environmental activist bringing awareness and representation to the outdoor spaces is Chelsea Murphy. Her mission, as stated on her website at shecolorsnature.com, says, "I want to encourage a more inclusive and equitable hiking community while celebrating and representing Black motherhood in the midst of dominant culture. By promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion in the outdoors and normalizing conversations about anti-racism in the backcountry." Chelsea Murphy promotes diversity and activism through Instagram, her blog, and her newest project with Brave Space Media.
Brave Space Media is a joint media venture by Chelsea Murphy and several other Black, Indigenous women of color. They are a multiracial, woman-led, radically collaborative, creative team seeking to decolonize outdoor culture both in front of and behind the lens. We are building a blossoming community of storytellers and outdoor lovers, promoting belonging in outdoor spaces for Black, Indigenous, and women of color.
The first Brave Space Media installment is called Expedition Reclamation, and it comes out this summer. The Brave Space Media website says Expedition Reclamation is a short documentary highlighting Washington State-based Black, Indigenous, and women of color in outdoor spaces. According to their webpage, these brave women share their counter-narrative to mainstream outdoor culture through a tapestry of stories woven together in celebration of resilience, belonging, and everyday connection to our natural world.
They paddleboard, snowboard, climb, hike, snowshoe, and swim. They also sing, pray, forest bathe, heal, and thrive. In every activity, in every instance, the women in this story show up boldly to reclaim what it means to be outdoorsy. Let's watch the Brave Space Media Expedition Reclamation trailer.
They ask, "What are you?" Trying to make sense of our hues. As our chocolate brown fingers braid raven black hair in salute to the spirits of our grandmothers. They ask, "Why are you here?" As we step into the radiance of the woods, the waterfalls, waves, and peace. In play, in pilgrimage, over challenge we thrive. Our healing mends roots of the earth. Beyond their expectations, beyond their line of sight. Onward to our own horizons. It's here, in nature, we claim our belonging.
We're in the midst of another reckoning on racial justice.
And as lovers of the outdoors, we can't pretend that nature doesn't discriminate.
Outdoor recreation is a predominantly white space.
As Black, Indigenous, and women of color, we often wonder if we belong out here.
We're here to tell you,
you belong.
You belong.
You do belong.
This film matters because representation matters.
This film matters because it redefines outdoor recreation.
This project has shown me the power of collective healing.
This project has shown me a piece of me that was missing.
These stories matter because it is so important that we share the experiences, the curiosity, the passion and excitement of BIPOC women and girls.
This film is important to me because I didn't have any role models that looked like me in the outdoors when I was growing up.
Sharing our stories will help young Latinas connect to the outdoors like we do now.
This is not just a film project.
This is a blossoming community.
We are telling these stories to honor our ancestors
and to inspire our daughters.
And to encourage all outdoor lovers to join us in the movement for fostering diversity, inclusion, and belonging for all in the great outdoors.
To learn more about Brave Space Media projects, just look up She Colors Nature or bravespaceproject.org.
But what if my family doesn't have enough time or money or feel safe enough to go outside next week for spring break? Let's hear from Steph Durbin, one of the local She Jumps Wild Skills program managers for Western Washington, about how students and families can stay connected to the outdoors even when it's difficult to actually get outside.
Please welcome to the Cornwall Connection, Steph Durbin. We heard you were the Wild Skills Program Manager for She Jumps. Can you tell us more about She Jumps and how we can get involved?
Well, hi. Thank you for having me on today. And yes, I'm the Wild Skills Program Manager for She Jumps. And there's many, many ways for you all to get involved. We have online programming because unfortunately we can't have in-person events. So if you go to shejumps.org and you go to the blog, we have things called microventures, and those are all things that you can do on your own, all sorts of different things from outside activities to inside activities. We also have a Calling Women In series, which has women, but that doesn't mean that girls and those who identify with the female community can also be involved. And they're usually really very fun panels we had ski patrollers on there, we have mountain climbers, we actually have female athletes. We also have guide-led programs. So if you want to be a junior ski patroller, you can get involved with us there. We have a junior whitewater rafting event for teenagers this summer. So there's a way for you to get involved there. And then starting this summer, we're going to be doing a Getting Started hiking series. So if you've never been outside and never gone on a hike, this is us teaching you like maybe just the little things that you need to go take a walk at maybe Priest Point Park or Miller, Sylvania, just kind of getting yourself kind of started in that.
What motivated you to join up with She Jumps?
Oh my goodness. Well, I saw these gals on the ski slopes and they were wearing tutus and crazy unicorn outfits. And I thought, wow, that looks like a really fun group. But so that's how I joined in with them. I thought, why not? And the other thing too is I love saying that if she can do it, I can do it. So I see these gals out doing, these great hikes or learning how to rock climb and learning how to go backpacking. And I wanted to try and be involved with that. And at your age, we didn't have these kind of activities that we could participate in. And being part of She Jumps, it's super fun that we're around all sorts of fun gals and in a really supportive, inclusive group that you can't fail because everybody's there cheering you on, and it's okay to take those risks. And like I said, if she can, I can.
Are you related to Mr. Durbin, our ELA and woodshop teacher?
Yes, I am. That's my husband and my partner in crime, and you probably have seen Lucas running around there too.
In what ways are She Jumps encouraging and promoting BIPOC voices and peoples to enjoy and be visible in outdoor activities?
That is a great question. We are working really hard. This is a forever working program. We have a wonderful diversity committee that we are constantly learning and trying to create an inclusive space for people that don't look like ourselves. And so we're trying to create a safe environment and trying to lower some of these boundaries that might keep some of us from being able to feel safe out there or even just entering the woods. Some of these things we kind of take for granted, and being of privileged, and that we work with a really strong group of different backgrounds of people, and we're having a really big push for also recognizing native lands, and that we actually are guests on some of these places that we have our programming, and it's important for us to recognize that and to really try to encompass creating space for others.
So what's the most fun adventure you've been on throughout being with She Jumps?
The funnest adventure. Oh, there's so many. So one of them, we have a mountain camp that we do, and we take a bunch of gals up to Mount Rainier, ages 8 to 18, and we split them up into 2 different groups. And we have some female guides that climb Mount Rainier, and they run us through mountain school, which is everything that we would learn before we climbed Mount Rainier. So they take us up on the snowfield, they rope us up, they put us in crampons, we learn how to use ice axes. It's super duper duper fun.
What is the significance of the Girafficorn as a She Jumps mascot?
So that was designed by our one of our founders, Lindsay Dyer, who is a professional skier. And she came up with the giraffe because giraffes are majestic and they're grounded. And she added a unicorn horn to make it magical.
Thank you for joining us as Mrs. Durbin. I'm definitely going to check out She Jumps, Microventures, and She Jumps YouTube channel for things to do during spring break next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Durbin, for sharing all of those amazing outdoor resources with us from She Jumps. For more resources about how you can get connected to the outdoors, check out Outdoor Afro or Indigenous Women Hike or the Washington Trails Association.
Just a reminder that next week is spring break, so enjoy your time off, do something relaxing, fun, and adventurous. We'll see you back on Monday, April 12th in our regular Zoom class and in-person schedule. Thanks for watching another episode of Mustang Message. Remember, Mustangs are compassionate and kind here at Marshall, where everyone belongs, everyone learns, and everyone grows.
For things to do during
You're
spring.
totally in the background. You're messing this up.
She's yelling at you, Dad. I didn't You literally are in my camera.
Okay, let's try that again.
Okay, here we go.
Somebody was in the background.
Thank you.